This very brief article refers to the fact that you will find amongst modern scholars attempts to reconstruct how books in the New Testament were written and how the Pentateuch was written, the first 5 books of the Bible. And these are very complicated and often very sophisticated attempts to construct these arguments. But do those authors really have the evidence required to overturn what has traditionally been the belief that these books, the first 5 books of the Bible, were written by Moses, and that the gospel accounts and the letters were written by the people assigned to them? So for 1800 years the church has held to these positions, the early church fathers held to these positions, and the Jewish authorities held to these positions in regard to the Pentateuch. So are the modern scholars able to access knowledge and evidence that suggests that they can overturn 1800 years of church and Jewish tradition? Well, Alistair McGrath, N.T. Wright and C.S. Lewis claim that that is impossible. They cannot have access to that information. It is simply not available to them. What they have is effectively elaborate guesswork. And as historians, we should not in any way feel pressurized to accept experts' opinions on these matters when those experts cannot have the evidence required to make the claims they're making. It's quite simple. A historian can only really make a claim about the past if it's backed up by good evidence. It's inconceivable that any of the authors who claim that a committee set up the Pentateuch have the evidence required. They don't have the notes of such a committee. They have no evidence that such a committee existed. There is nothing really that in any of the histories of this period that suggests such a committee ever existed. Likewise with the Gospels, the claim that Luke or John or Matthew was a compilation, a stitch-up job by different parts being written by different authors, bears no record in history that such a thing ever happened. And to be honest, I don't know of any book of that period that was constructed in that way. I think it's utterly impossible that such a occurrence ever happened, and therefore it's far more logical to believe that these books were written by the authors as claimed for the last 1800 years to be the case. And modern miracles seem to suggest that God authenticates these books as being the books that he wanted written in the way he wanted written. And so claims that these books were the product of some sort of committee or some sort of deliberation and cutting and pasting job just simply don't stack up. There is not the evidence to suggest that, nor is it conceivable that such evidence ever existed. So we can trust the books of the Bible. They are confirmed by modern miracles, and simple common sense suggests 1800 years of church tradition that these are the books written by the people who said is valid. Thank you for listening.